This is Austin Aries, and you're watching AMBY. That's AMBY, AMBY. And I'm Austin, and you're watching AMBY.
Hey everyone, it's Alicia from AMBY, and I'm so excited to be sitting here with Austin Aries today. Hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me.
Absolutely.
Doing all right here?
I'm doing good. Yeah, I'm hanging in there. Got my cup of coffee. Keep me going here. I should hopefully don't nod off here in the next 10, 15 minutes.
I'll just give you a little nudge and it'll be good.
That's fine.
Well, first things first. Last week I was just scrolling through my feed, and next thing I know, bam, photograph of you holding up the Impact World Championship. So how is life as champ been? How's being back at Impact?
Spoiler alert, as they would say. I know a lot of people were upset with the spoiler, but you know, in this day and age with technology, if you tape anything, the results are going to be out there immediately. I think the company just felt, hey, why don't we get ahead of it and try to create some buzz, and hopefully some people will tune in on February 1st, Pop TV, and kind of see what the new regime's got in store. Some new faces, some old faces returning, and it was unexpected. I think all across the board. I don't think a lot of fans expected it. I didn't expect it, and but here I am, and just a true free agent going around collecting championships, and so that was number 4 at the time, and we're going to try to collect some more.
Everyone's eyes at Impact are on with that belt. So is there anybody you're a bit worried about taking it away from you? Because it's a really stacked roster.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, there's kind of a lot of new faces that I haven't really been in the ring with. So, that's always the element of surprise. But got guys like Johnny Impact, who obviously is, well known, and then of course Alberto El Patron, who's a legend in Mexico and really has done everything world champion. So. Yeah, there's and Eli Drake, obviously as the former champion, he wants his proper rematch. So yeah, there's a lot of guys hungry, and especially when you kind of have this, again, you're kind of having this reboot of Impact Wrestling, so everybody sees this opportunity to kind of stamp their name and stake claim to the upper echelon of the company. So, but I am ready for it. Bring them on.
You mentioned having other belts before, and some of those belts happen to be the Defiant belt, the IPW UK Championship.
It's not a belt, it's a championship. It's a championship.
Okay.
It's not a belt.
Carrying around all that prestige does it get pretty heavy once in a while? Because you had mentioned before you didn't want to lug everything up here.
Yeah, I think the rib's on me actually. Lugging this stuff around and going through security. Of course, it's hard to get through TSA without them wanting to know all these large metal objects are in your bag, and then you're overweight limits and all that stuff. So it's a good problem to have. I'm not complaining whatsoever, but it does make the travel a little more tedious.
There's a great tweet that you seem to be a fan of, and on the tweet it was of course quoting, "We don't have anything creatively for you," and then it listed all of the belts championships.
Championship
that you
titles.
currently hold. So looking back on that, just kind of get a laugh out of it.
You know what? A fan made that, and I got a chuckle. I mean, I think it's kind of the stock. The stock reason they give to everybody when they decide to let them go, and as I've said in other interviews, if there's more behind it, I'll never know, and at this point it doesn't really matter. I enjoyed my time there. It left me in a great position that I'm really now really thankful for. Traveling the world, making great money, being important parts of companies, having some creative freedom back that I didn't have, and really just getting to be Austin Aries again, which I didn't feel like, unfortunately, a lot of the fans in WWE never really got to see what Austin Aries was. They saw a version of him or somebody else's version of him, and so now it's a chance for me to get back to doing, what I do best, and nobody knows me better than me, and so far so good. I'm reaching some levels of success, and I'm happy, and sky's the limit.
Being away from that form of Austin Aries for a bit, did it take you a second to kind of rejig, or did you just fall right back into everything?
No, I think I got to fall back into it. I think my adjustment period there was difficult. Things move so fast, things are constantly changing. There's a lot of parameters you got to work around. And so when I got back in the independent scene, it was important for me to go work places that wanted Austin Aries and wanted to work with me and let me be who I am, respecting my creative input, and and also I think the other part is understanding that the industry is changing, right? Wrestling's changing, the way the fans the fans are entertained by it, what they want, what the expectations are, have kind of changed a little bit. So, there's all this great new crop of guys, that make me feel old sometimes because like, oh, I remember watching you in fourth grade when you beat Samoa Joe for the River. Thank you. Please,
Thanks for reminding me.
please don't ever say that again. But so many talented guys, and so really, I'm going, hey. They're coming to me respectfully and going, hey, what do you want to do? And I'm saying, listen, what do you want to do? I want to expand my horizons, and I want to
try new things.
Yeah, try new things and hang with these young kids and show that I can still go.
When it comes to wrestling, there of course is a danger element to it, which we were briefly touching on before. And I'll never forget the photograph that went around of your broken eye socket.
Yeah.
That was just absolutely gruesome.
The broken eye hole.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So when you think back to some of the worst bumps you take and injuries, what's the one that comes to mind that'll always kind of haunt you a bit?
Well, the one I still feel was, we're in England, and man, I don't remember what year. Maybe it was like 2007. Ring of Honor was over there, and I was working a tag match. I think it was Roderick Strong and myself versus the Briscoe brothers. And at the end of the match, I went for reverse hurricanrana, which back then you did at the end of the match. Now I see it done at the beginning of the match. It's just we'll do some chain wrestling. I'll do a reverse hurricanrana. But yeah, all joking aside, I did it, and I kind of I landed awkwardly, whatever the timing was off, and so I actually pulled my bottom rib from the cartilage. You have a couple floating ribs on each side, so it pulled it from the cartilage. And that was probably the most painful injury I had. Like I couldn't wrestle the next night, which I hate when I got to pull out of injury, because of injuries. But yeah, there was nothing they could do for it. So just letting it heal. And there's still times to this day I'll be on a flight or I'll be sitting somewhere and it'll still ache and I'll still feel it. So that's when that kind of sticks out. The broken eye hole looked gruesome, but from a pain standpoint. Obviously, when it initially happened, I was afraid I'd lost my eyeball, but it really wasn't that painful, and honestly,
Really?
it really didn't hurt that bad. It was after surgery, it was pretty numb because there, some nerves in there that had been disturbed. So, yeah, it wasn't a super painful injury, and in some ways, it really opened some doors for me to do some things that I don't think were really on the slate for me that, I think eventually led me to WrestleMania. So, thank you, Shinsuke. I appreciate that. That was good.
Does it feel completely normal now, or is it one of those things you still feel once in a
Yeah,
while?
it'll never feel normal. I mean,
Okay.
I got a titanium plate in there.
Oh,
so
that changes it up a bit.
yeah, so it's a little strange in there, and it's still a little bit of a numb sensation, but yeah, it's all good.
Well, aside from being back in the Austin Aries chair, we have to discuss the author chair, as Food Fight is officially out, the memoir. So getting into that author seat, did it take a little bit of getting
Shameless
used
plug.
to for you? Right there.
There it is.
All its glory.
You can get it at austinariesbook.com, or you can find it on Amazon. I'm not going to keep hammering you over the head with that, though. Yeah, well, it was kind of cool, right? Like, it was nothing I really ever thought of. I thought maybe once my career was done, I'd come with some kind of tell-all. But the opportunity presented itself, and it's really more about my journey of becoming a plant-based, athlete. I grew up in Wisconsin eating cheese and brats and hamburgers, and along the way, I adopted right now a completely vegan, lifestyle when it comes to my diet, and this just kind of chronicles the why and the how, and all that, ties some wrestling stories in there. They kind of intertwined the two lifestyle changes. I gave up meat the same year I started wrestling, so. Yeah, I've gotten a lot of good feedback. I've gotten a lot of people. I was just out in Las Vegas at a vegan meetup out there at a place called Hummus, which was delicious. So if you're ever in Vegas, check out Hummus. And I had a lady, her husband and son come up, and she bought the book 6-7 months ago, and she's gone vegan and lost over 40 pounds.
Wow.
and got rid of some of her medications and just really turned her life around. So
It's gratifying, it must be.
yeah, it's realizing that, hey, like, listen, what I do for a living, it's silly, right? I mean, it's entertainment, and I love it, but when you think about it, it's a little silly. But then to be able to use that platform and to use that voice to help people change their lives in a meaningful and impactful way, that's really rewarding. And I feel like if I wasn't using this platform for it, then I'd be kind of wasting it. So.
I notice a lot of the time in interviews, you tend to stray away from the word vegan, use plant-based
Yeah.
a lot. So what is it? Is there like a weird stigma to it that you just don't?
Yeah, I think there's a stigma to the term vegan, and then also I think vegan's an all or nothing proposition, right? You're either vegan or you're not, and then vegan, true veganism goes beyond just what you eat, but it goes into the the things you wear, the things you use in everyday life, which I realized that in this society is almost impossible. I found these really great vegan shoes when I was in Australia, but you know what? My belt's leather. I'm not going to throw it away when it's time to get a new one. I'll find a vegan one. So I use the term plant-based diet because I feel anybody can implement more of a plant-based diet into their lifestyle. Not everybody can go vegan.
It's hard to stay away from everything.
Yeah, and also I think, again, I want to set people up for success and not failure. So again, vegan's an all or nothing proposition. I didn't go vegan overnight. It was a 17-year journey. I gave up meat in 2000. It was 6 years ago that I gave up the dairy and the eggs. So, I realized that, again, people don't want to slap that label on them immediately. That's a huge change. So I just encourage people to eat more of a plant-based diet, and I'm confident enough that when they start seeing the results, they start feeling better, they start losing weight, they start seeing abs, and they start feeling better about, not contributing to a lot of the atrocities that the meat industry does to the animals. They keep taking it on for themselves, and they keep eating more and more plant-based until maybe eventually they're vegan.
I feel like a lot of the time when people do hear the word vegan or they hear about that type of food, they just kind of put it right to the side. They don't think it's going to taste as good. But you said you've had a lot of amazing plant-based dishes, whether it's bacon to burgers. So has there been any kind of recipe lately that's shocked you that you really found out you loved?
I mean, listen, and now especially because it's an emerging market, right? I mean, more and more people are jumping on the bandwagon, professional athletes, entertainers. So with that, there's a lot more options out there. Toronto is a great mecca for vegan food, as I found out. But there's nothing that I used to eat that I can't eat now. As you said, bacon, burgers, chicken and waffles. I had chicken and waffles when I was in LA. I just was hanging out with DDP in Atlanta doing some DDPY and checking out his facility up there, which is amazing. And he's got a great kitchen set up with a bunch of cameras. So I did a couple of like mini cooking shows for his app. And I whipped out a lentil mac and cheese, which used a cashew cheese and lentil pasta. And I think a serving was about 30 grams of protein a bowl. So I got my protein covered. Don't worry about me. I'm not going to die of protein deficiency. But so that's that. Beyond Meat makes a really good substitute meat, chicken and burgers. So I like to make like a chicken curry salad out of that. So there's literally nothing I feel like I'm missing out on at all when eating a plant-based diet.
When it comes to this website, I not only cover wrestling, but I also cover music, because those are my two biggest passions. Absolutely love both. So I saw you were jamming to some Korn the other day.
Yep.
You post your stories, which is awesome to kind of catch up with it. So who are some other people you have been digging lately?
I'm a big fan of 30 Seconds to Mars, Seven Dust. I'm trying to think. It's weird. I tend to skew back to the stuff I grew up listening to, and I should probably expand. Into some more new music. So I'm always open to some new. Got to give Fozzy some love.
Of course.
I remember going and seeing Chris. I think I had, it was some dark matches I did way back in probably 2005, maybe 6. And I remember he was playing at a club afterwards, and I didn't know anybody. I just kind of went by myself and hung out in the back. And to see where he's gone from there to really now just one of the hottest acts around, like that's awesome. Just a testament to that guy and his work ethic. So I listen to all different kind of stuff except country. Sorry guys, don't listen to country too much. I do like some Alabama.
I like that's the common one that's left out.
That's the ones. It's
most
either
things but country.
And some of the more ratchet, hip hop and rap. I have a hard time identifying with all the boss bitches out there.
You're saying you can't relate?
Can't really relate.
No?
Yeah. Otherwise, I still love Pearl Jam. Black Label Society. So I listen to some heavier stuff, but then Days of the New is a group I've always been a big fan of that a lot of people haven't really heard of. Monster Truck. I can name a bunch of them, but I listen to different stuff. Depends what I'm in the mood for. I had some little D'Angelo on last night, or The Roots, Dead
Eclectic
Prez.
taste.
Yeah. Listen, and then my entrance song, which is by a band that was called Aries Rising, which is no longer around, but they did pump out a couple of tunes and. So hopefully I'll get back in the music scene here in 2018.
I was going to ask, are there any plans? Is that kind of in the back of your
mind?
Yeah,
it's in the back of my mind. Obviously I got a lot of stuff going on, but I always feel like I want to gravitate back towards music and just about find the right project and the right guys, because I'm a hack of a guitar player. I got I don't have the digits for it or the dexterity, so.
Definitely got the vocal chops though.
I can carry a tune a little bit. I started choir back when I was pretty young, so. But I need some musicians to help me out. Otherwise, I'll just be doing a cappella. Nobody wants to hear that.
No acapella entrances, no?
Oh man, I think that would die a slow death. Yeah.
Well, just to wrap things up, I do want to bring it to the fans. Is there anything you just want to leave with everybody viewing? Any parting words?
You know what? I appreciate right now the wrestling scene. Leaving WWE and seeing that there's a really vibrant, pro wrestling scene of fans that just want to see pro wrestlers, pro wrestling, and it's awesome that, again, we were just talking. There's 3 shows here tonight in this area here in Toronto, big shows, and that just shows you that there's a lot of fans out there that are really supporting what we do, and I appreciate all the support. Don't think you know me unless you know me, and you're gonna get to know me more. I got some cool stuff in the works that I think in the next month or so are gonna kind of come out there that it's gonna give people a chance to get to know a lot more of the real Austin Aries, and so I look forward to that too.
Congrats on all the awesome stuff coming up.
I
cannot
appreciate
wait
it.
to see what it is.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for joining me.
Awesome. Thanks for coming.
It's my pleasure. And remember, to everyone viewing, you can visit us at musicblogger.com for all exclusive interviews, features, videos, and so much more. See ya.
Peace.